The Individuals with Disabilities Act, also known as IDEA, requires each state to develop a State Performance Plan Annual Performance Report, known as the SPP-APR, that evaluates the state's efforts to implement the requirements and purposes of IDEA and describes how the state will improve its special education implementation. The SPP-APRs include indicators that measure child and family outcomes and other indicators that measure compliance with the requirements of IDEA. The indicators in Part B of IDEA fall into three monitoring priority areas. The first is provision of a free, appropriate public education, known as FAPE, in the least restrictive environment, also known as LRE. Second, the state exercise of general supervision, including child find, effective monitoring, the use of resolution meetings, mediation, and a system of transition services. Third, disproportionate representation of racial and ethnic groups in special education and related services, to the extent the representation is the result of inappropriate identification. The South Carolina Office of Special Education Services must set targets on the indicators that involve student performance. We have a series of recorded presentations in order to get stakeholder feedback on the proposed targets. Indicator 5 is all about where and who students are spending their time with at school. The least restrictive environment, LRE, is about the percent of children with IEPs, age 5 and enrolled in kindergarten, and those ages 6 through 21, who are served in three different categories. The three categories that we look at are 5A, which is inside regular classrooms 80% or more of the day, 5B, inside regular classrooms less than 40% of the day, and 5C, in separate schools, residential facilities, or homebound hospital placements. So, how do we measure school age LRE? For 5A, we take the percent of children with IEPs, those age 5 and enrolled in kindergarten, and those ages 6 through 21, served inside the regular classroom 80% or more of the day, and we divide that by the number of students age 5 and enrolled in kindergarten and ages 6 through 21 with IEPs times 100. For 5B, we take the number of children with IEPs age 5 and enrolled in kindergarten and ages 6 through 21 served inside the regular class less than 40% of the day, divided by the number of students age 5 and enrolled in kindergarten and ages 6 through 21 with IEPs times 100. And for 5C, we take the number of children with IEPs ages 5 and enrolled in kindergarten and ages 6 through 21 served in separate schools, residential facilities, or homebound hospital placements, divided by the number of students age 5 and enrolled in kindergarten and ages 6 through 21 with IEPs times 100. Here on this slide, you can see historically both the target and the actual percentage for 5A, 5B, and 5C. We used the historical data to help us make decisions about the new proposed targets. On this slide, you can see our proposed targets for 5A, 5B, and 5C. How we came to these suggestions is detailed on the next slide. So let's look at how targets were set. Targets for A were set by using the current trend starting in 2010. This was a really difficult target to propose. There's a lot of research that discusses LRE and where students need to be, which varies by the individual student needs and the skills they need help with. For target A, we would like to propose staying with the current trend. Targets for B were set by using the current trend starting in 2010 minus half a standard deviation. This is the LRE that includes all of our self-contained students. There's a lot of research that says students need some time with same-age peers for reasons ranging from access to the grade level standards to learning social emotional skills from peers without disabilities. That is why we chose this part of Indicator 5 to focus on. With this target, the OSIS is proposing that the number of students who receive all of their education in an environment that only includes other students with disabilities needs to decrease. targets for C were set by decreasing the overall target by 0.01 per year. This is such a very small percentage of our students. The OSIS doesn't envision the need for this very small portion of the population to change dramatically. So, what are all the changes for 2020? The first will be a change of emphasis to 5B, which is the LRE for self-contained students. Second, we will be refocusing our LEA determinations so that they target 5B instead of 5A. And last, we will be changing from only including students ages 6 through 21 in Indicator 5 to now also including students age 5 and who are enrolled in kindergarten to this 6 through 21 age group.
To achieve our second goal, the Academic Focus Group will continue researching considerations for determining a student's least restrictive environment. We will also create and compile informative materials to support IEP teams in determining a student's least restrictive environment. These materials will include LMS courses, webinars, and informational guidance. Our goal at OSIS is to provide the needed supports to districts, staff, and parents so that students will achieve the best possible outcomes academically, socially, and emotionally. To achieve our first goal, the Academic Focus Group will edit and revise the Virtual SC co-teaching course to increase rigor to meet graduate level standards and align it to the South Carolina co-teaching framework. Secondly, we will build capacity at the LEA level through a train-the-trainer model. As we mentioned before, we set two goals to support progress toward increasing time students with disabilities spend in the general education environment. The second goal is that during the 2021-2022 school year, the Academic Focus Group within the Office of Special Education Services, OSIS, will develop and disseminate information on the considerations for determining a student's least restrictive environment to support LEAs in increasing the time students with disabilities spend in the general education environment. To achieve our second goal, the Academic Focus Group will continue researching considerations for determining a student's least restrictive environment. We will also create and compile informative materials to support IEP teams in determining a student's least restrictive environment. These materials will include LMS courses, webinars, and informational guidance. Our goal at OSIS is to provide the needed supports to districts, staff, and parents so that students will achieve the best possible outcomes academically, socially, and emotionally. What this means for you as a teacher is that you will receive high-quality, focused support, including practical, relevant resources to support the use of evidence-based practices and high-leverage practices in the areas of co-teaching and LRE considerations to promote increased integration of students with disabilities in the general education environment. The co-teaching course will be a graduate level course to provide a level of instruction that will allow participants to implement co-teaching with fidelity in order to impact outcomes. By creating a course at the graduate level, we are ensuring teachers a depth of knowledge and understanding necessary to facilitate co-teaching at the classroom level and engage in conversations about implementing co-teaching on a larger scale. Our purpose is to engage those interested in spreading the love of co-teaching and the equity it provides for all students. Another bonus for a graduate level course: pending approval, participants completing this course may receive 60 recertification credits. Our long-range plan is to offer 2 graduate level courses for teachers and a recertification level course for administrators. Our goal at OSIS is to provide the needed supports to districts, staff, and parents so that students will achieve the best possible outcomes academically, socially, and emotionally.